Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw for Insider Travel Report. If you don't know Collette, you should. It is the oldest tour operator in the United States, and it goes almost everywhere. I don't know if there's not a place they don't go, but we're going to sit and talk to you today about how Collette's travelers have changed in the last 5 years, and also the kind of products they have for them now. Can you tell us how Collette's travelers have changed in the last 5 years? What are kind of their new desires and where do they want to go?
I am so glad we are having this conversation because I talk to so many advisors every week, and I think there's been such a precipitous change in the traveler post-pandemic that it's really important that we level set and say, all right, there's a lot that changed here. So I may have known a lot historically about who the guided traveler was, but that has really shifted and it's taken all of us by surprise. So it's great to take a step back and go to kind of 101. Who are the people that we see taking our guided tours, specifically our small group explorations tours?
Okay.
The pandemic had a huge effect, James, on the individual 60 plus and their tech savviness, their computer literacy. And what we saw at Collette was that the travelers who post-pandemic really adopted technology, they need us for different things. They like us to, book their flights, to arrange their hotels, to get them into the top attractions, but they don't need us to do
Hmm.
that anymore. They can do that on their own. They don't like to, but they can.
Okay.
What they need us to do and what the expectation is to get them into people's living rooms, to meaningful conversations, to finding the best guide,
Connect
to
with the
figure
locals,
out,
pretty
to
much.
connect with the locals.
Yeah.
And so that has been the expectation shift. So we've had to fundamentally change, specifically our small group tours to meet that need because peppering in a really authentic and meaningful local engagement here and there no longer cuts it. And an example I give, and I heard it from the mouth of our traveler, is pre-pandemic, they felt that going to a vineyard in Italy would be considered a local experience. They
Hmm.
do not consider that a local experience
That's
anymore.
not enough anymore.
It's not enough. It's something they want to do, but it isn't where the locals go.
Right.
They want to actually go into someone's living room. And so that is the change. And it's really exciting because that's what I've always loved to do. And
Sure.
finally, there really is a great marriage between the people who are designing our tours on the ground, having access to all of these amazing inclusions, and now the traveler demanding it.
So these are small group explorations. It's a whole line of products that you have. Tell us a little bit more about that. What is the maximum size? Because obviously, you can't get about 40 people in a living room.
You can't unless you got a really big one. Unless you got a really big one. But no, most people's living rooms, you're not fitting 40 people. No, our maximum size is 24. Our average group size is 28. And of course, in places like Africa, that goes down to usually below 20. So it's a really nice group size. And one thing I also like to note about the guided group traveler, James, is that they want to be with other people.
Hmm.
Because we cater to people with the time and the money to take these tours, they're 60 plus, and many of them have been with their significant others for years. So the idea of going to Australia for 3 weeks with just one person, they're like, I don't know that, they do this every single day.
Right.
So they want to get out and engage with other like-minded individuals. And so that's why our travelers and for advisors out there, social butterflies, you know, they're out there. There are people that want to be with other like-minded individuals, and that's why they choose guided group touring.
Absolutely, because if you're sitting across the breakfast table with the same person you've been seeing for a long time, maybe you want to find somebody else too for a little while and interact,
100%.
meet
Yes.
especially locals, and that's what you're there to do anyway when you're traveling. Now, Colette recently celebrated. I did not realize you've had this small group explorations for about 15 years. And that's on top of being 106 years old. You're the Colette as well. Other than size, how are small group explorations different from kind of your classic tour line, which is more of what we think of as a guided vacation? What makes them unique?
Sure. So one thing, and this is actually, I would say for all Collette product, but definitely for the small groups, we have a strict no schlepping policy. So, you know, the example I give, I'm an East Coaster. I'm here in Rhode Island. So if you were going to take your family on a tour that included Boston, New York, and DC, would you fly round trip Boston? No, you
No.
would fly into Boston and out of DC. So why would you go round trip Rome? Why would you go round trip London? Why would you go round trip Paris? You
Mhm.
never would. You fly into the north, out of the south, into the east, out of the west, whatever it is. So pacing is so important to these people. They want to get off the bus and into the destination. So very few one night stays, very little schlepping. The other thing that's changed from our exploration tours to the classic is we still have all of the must-see experiences. People want to go to Paris, they want to go to the Eiffel Tower. Of course, you've been there 5 times, you still love to see it, right? But equally as important, and this goes back to the earlier part of our conversation, is the engagement with local culture. So that has been elevated as prominently as the must-sees, as a motivating factor to travel. So slowing down, meaningfully engaging is how this product line is different. The other big difference, James, is the tours, not all of them, but most of them, and definitely our most popular, they're slowing down to see the world and they're taking a very regional approach. One
Mhm.
of our most popular tours, you can't really get on it, is the Amalfi Coast in Puglia. It
I'm
just,
not surprised at that. I tell you, that's a
yeah,
famous region, right?
in just a 2 week tour of just Sicily, and it's almost sold out for next year.
Wow.
Travelers, they just don't want to do the 10-day death march through Europe. It is becoming a thing of the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you are probably too young to remember a movie called "If It's Tuesday, It Must Be Belgium."
I saw it. It's our mantra
Uh,
in product.
that is the bane of all tour operators because they think that's what everybody thinks touring is. And today, I mean, we're talking how many years later? It's not. What's happening is this evolution, like you have with the small group explorations line. Absolutely.
Yes.
And
Yep.
so let's talk a little bit about the explorations product line. How do you are you going to be expanding it even more? I don't know how many total tours you have, and if you are expanding it, where will it go?
We have over 50 tours beginning in 2025. It is our fastest growing product line. It is very exciting, and our plan is to continue to expand that. It is where, it's taking travelers where they want to go and it's traveling how they want to explore. So we go not to all 7 continents with the small group travel. We don't hit Antarctica. Our Antarctica tour is a classic
Well,
product.
maybe someday, you never.
Maybe someday. But no, we go to we go to 6 continents
Okay.
with explorations. And unbelievably, and I think this has taken a lot of us by surprise, our fastest growing region, Europe does extremely well and is solid. But in terms of traveler growth, we are seeing tremendous expansion in our safari product. So we have 5 tours. We're looking to increase that. We've just added Namibia. And, there's, I think, a traditional understanding that travelers want to do safari FIT, but Africa is no different than Europe. And the same desire for our travelers to connect with other like-minded individuals, it doesn't stop at Gibraltar before you get into North Africa. They
Right.
still have that desire to be with an expert guide, to be forming friendships with the other travelers on tour. So we are so excited to see the rapid growth and expansion of our safari product. But Europe is doing extremely well. We're adding many itineraries there. So yeah, that's where it's at.
Well, I mean, Safari is always on everybody's bucket list, and so if they can do it with a company like yours that they trust, that's going to be absolutely a way to do Safari. I've only done a couple of safaris myself, and they are wonderful, and it's something that everyone has to experience. Now, how is the small group explorations kind of meeting the challenge of over tourism and really supporting everybody's hot topic, sustainable travel?
100%. We do it in several ways. Well, and the most obvious is a smaller group leaves a smaller footprint.
Right.
But I can tell you that a brand standard of our explorations product is to get into what we call secondary cities. So places that are off the beaten path and
Mhm.
not to just visit there for the day, but to actually stay there. So little Tuscan hilltop towns,
Mhm.
towns in Japan. Oh gosh, I'm blanking on the name. Isishima. They had never really had Western tourists ever go there. So the hotel that we stay in is very unique because it's made for the Japanese market. It hasn't been
Absolutely.
converted for the American market. It's on our Japan past and present tour with South Korea. We go there because we visit um, this group of women called the Ama Pearl Divers. And that really is the number one highlight of the tour. But getting into these smaller cities, meaningfully engaging. And the other big push that I'm excited to see the whole industry really galvanizing behind, travelers specifically, is traveling in the slower months.
Yeah.
November, March, they are great times to be in Europe. And so we're seeing naturally because people don't want to be in large crowds. They don't want to wait in line. They're going into these shoulder season months. We're supporting it with an aggressive pricing strategy, working with our partners in the airlines to get good pricing to get people over there more affordably. So really, it's a cohesive effort. So that is how over tourism we're thwarting at Collette. And the last thing I'll say is every one of our tours on explorations includes what we call an impact moment, which is a partnership, a minimum of one, which is a partnership with the equivalent of a 501(c)(3).
Hmm.
And so that's been a great way to, again, get our travelers connected with the local community, leave the place hopefully a little bit better than when we came. And another thing too, James, is, travel isn't all roses and butterflies, particularly when you're visiting places that are a little bit more far-flung. And I think that's a reality that the world has opened up to. They want to engage with. They don't want to, cover it over anymore and, just drive right by it and pretend it doesn't exist. So we're leaning into it, and it's really important. And that's where tourism can have such an important effect.
Well, it seems you have kind of the perfect product with small group explorations, slower travel, different alternative destinations, great guides, great local experiences. So th this is the trend, and you've kind of met it with this product line, which has been around, but you're growing it, and I'm happy to see that that's the case. And there's so many destinations that where you can apply this same thing. Although it sounds like you got to get a few more tours to Amalfi.
Definitely. I know. Who doesn't want to go there, right?
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful place. And so where can travel advisors go to find out more about small group explorations, the resources they can get?
Absolutely. Our website, we're still printing brochures, and one tool that we have for our travel advisors that I'm really excited about, we're getting a lot of engagement with. It's called Collette Connection. We want to help you, our advisors, market to your travelers. So they can go on through a portal, which is available through My Collette or the Travel Advisor portal, and we will actually mail brochures to your travelers. Everything is handled through a third-party database. So, James, if you know that, some members in your family really want to go on a Collette tour, let's pretend you were an advisor. You can go on to Collette Connection, put in their address, personalize a letter from you with your logo to the traveler. All of the CTA is back, all the calls to action are back to you. We never see the addresses or any of the information, and we handle all of the costs. We have beautiful brochures. Many of them have kind of deviated a little bit from the traditional brochure with all of the itineraries. We do still have those, but some amazing aspirational pieces. Please mail them to your travelers. We will take care of all of the costs. We just want to get the word out there about these incredible tours that we have, and we want to help you do it. And we know that marketing can be really expensive. So let us take care of that burden.
Fantastic. Well, Diane, I want to thank you for spending some time with us to talk about small group explorations, a whole product line with Collette. And of course, it is a 106-year-old tour operator. So they know what they're doing, and they know they can give you these local experiences to your clients. And really, explore different parts of the world in a new way. Diane, great to see you, and thanks for coming on by.
Thank you.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.